ومن سيئات أعمالنا ما يهده الله فلا مضل له وما يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes, welcome back to an emergency live with the features. This is a breaking news live with the features, and it's so incredibly important. And subhanallah, I'm shocked. I'm utterly shocked that I personally have not found any Muslims talking about this on this Yom al Jummah, on Jummah khutbahs. And believe me, I tried. I looked. I looked and I checked. I was going through trying to check all these khutbahs, and I could not find a single da'i or khatib talking about this particular subject. And it's probably the single most important thing that is happening in I would say in probably the West since 2021 started, since the insurrection, put it that way. So first, I want you to like, subscribe, share, tag your friends, hit me up on Patreon. This topic here is so important and so relevant, and it affects each and every single one of you in real time that I can't stress, enough how crucial the hour is for us as Black people in any white supremacist society internationally. We're in very crucial moments here. Now, last night, if you were on my regular live, then you know that we talked about the how the Asian community is pretty much jumping the line, so to speak, in terms of their paper cut with Donald Trump last year. Even though Donald Trump, he's blatantly racist against everyone. And this is completely relevant to what I'm going to talk about today. But I have to rehash some of what I talked about yesterday in order to get directly to the point, because all of it is relevant, and it's very, very, very important for you guys to understand, inshallah. So please like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon. I just want to double check to see that it's working here on YouTube. So just let me hop on my YouTube and make sure I'm getting sound on YouTube. So give me 1 second here. But while I'm doing that, I want you guys to please share this video. If you are Black, especially if you're Black and you're a Muslim and you are living in the West, you need to understand what is going on. Okay, let me just update this, change the title here. All right, so let me just hop on here. Understand what is going on. Okay, so we got sound on YouTube. All right, so I just want to monitor this for a second. Let me go here. Oh, didn't mean to do all that. Excuse me. Don't mean to do all that either. All right, so now yesterday I mentioned how Joe Biden had talked to your irrelevant, obsolete, dead civil rights leaders, scolded them like children, and told them to basically sit down and shut up and let me do my thing, after Black people again voted the American Democratic Party into power. So I want to go back to that. And again, I apologize to the listeners yesterday, but I have to do this so you can understand where I'm going with all this, okay? So let me just get this up here for you. 1 second. You get the clip. So I want you guys first to listen to Joe Biden, right, speak about exactly what is happening between the relationship with the Democratic Party and black people. What's really going on? Listen, this is what he said.
Some Biden cringe.
By 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population.
Okay, so you heard him say that by 2040, America is going to be minority white European. And I mentioned yesterday that the threat with white supremacy has always been black people. They have been worried about white genetic annihilation since they discovered that throughout the entire world, they're finding black people everywhere. And I don't just mean Africa. They're finding them in the Orient, in the Philippines. They have the Aitas. They're black people. They're finding them in India. I think they're called the Junta or something like this. Black people in India. They're going to South America finding black people. They're going to the southern part of the states to find everywhere. And everywhere in the world they're going, they're finding black people. So they are worried about white genetic annihilation. Are you understanding me? So he is telling these, you're irrelevant, obsolete, civil rights leadership that they got to work with the Hispanics. Because white people pretty much ain't got no time for you. Okay? All right? So he's expressing his fear of white genetic annihilation. Now, again, what did he say to these civil rights leaders in terms of executive orders? Right? This is just a reminder, right? Until we get into the bulk of our subject.
Some of the people you were supposed to say, on day one, I'm going to executive order to do this. Not within the constitutional authority. I am not going to violate the Constitution. There is a Constitution. It's our only hope. Our only hope. And the way to deal with it is where I have executive authority, I will use it to undo every single damn thing this guy's done by executive authority. But I'm not going to exercise executive authority where it's questioned, where I can come along and say, I can do away with assault weapons. There's no executive authority to do away with that. And no one's fought harder to get rid of assault weapons than me. Me. But you can't do it by executive order.
Okay, so now he's talking about how you heard it directly from him. He's talking about how he is going to, by executive order, undo all of what Trump did. Okay? Then this anti-Asian racism whole thing started, right? And I mentioned yesterday, and I said, I jumped the gun. I'm going to jump the gun, something I never do, but I said, I'm going to jump the gun and say that this whole thing is not really about anti-Asian racism at all. It's about you, black people. And it's about locking you out of the perks and the rights that you deserve after 466 years of oppression. That's the whole thing. I gave you all the historical context, how many times it was done. I gave that all to you, right? And then we're going to listen to the executive orders that Joe Biden has signed. This is from, 1 second, let me get it up here. This is from dated January 26th. And again, before the anti-Asian racism thing, okay? And really, this video has nothing to do with anti-Asian racism, but I'm making a point to show and emphasize that I was absolutely right. That yes, that whole anti-Asian racism thing was specifically about locking black people out. Now listen to what the executive orders that he put out.
I'll be shortly signing an additional package of executive actions to continue this vital work. Housing, for example. Housing
is a right in America, and home ownership is an essential tool to wealth creation and to be passed down to generations. Today, I'm directing the Department of Housing and Urban Affairs and Urban Development to redress the historical racism in federal housing policies. Today, I'm directing the federal agency to reinvigorate the consultation process with Indian tribes. Respect for tribal sovereignty will be a cornerstone of our engaging with Native American communities. This builds on the work we did last week to expand tribes' access to the Strategic National Stockpile for the first time, to ensure they receive help from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to fight this pandemic. Today, I'm directing federal agencies to combat resurgence of xenophobia, particularly against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders that we've seen skyrocket during this pandemic. This is unacceptable, and it's un-American. I've asked the Department of Justice to strengthen this partnership with the Asian American and Pacific Islander community to prevent those hate crimes. I've also asked the Department of Health and Human Services to put out best practices for combating xenophobia and our national response to COVID. Look, in the weeks ahead, I'll be reaffirming the federal government's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility, building on the work we started in the Obama-Biden administration.
Okay, you guys get the point. So he signed executive orders. Who did he mention, people? Who did he mention? And remember, I told you about language. He mentioned specifically the Asian community, specifically Pacific Islanders, specifically the indigenous Indian population. He did not mention you. And he mentioned an executive order to fight anti-Asian xenophobia. Even though Donald Trump explicitly spoke against Black people, he spoke against Muslims, he spoke against Hispanics, every one of these people groups, these other ethnic groups got perks and executive orders and build-me-ups from President Biden, and Black people didn't get squat. They did not get squat. But you're going to say, hey, Bilal, he mentioned urban. You see, this is how they use language to lock Black people out. And I mentioned that to you before. Why didn't he say Black people? Why does he say urban? Urban is just a term that they use that they trick the people to make it synonymous with the Black population, but it's really meant to lock them out. Otherwise, why mention specifically the Asian community, the American Indians, the Pacific Islanders, but you can't say Black people specifically? That's a trick that they use specifically to lock Black people out of any types of gains. Now, again, I apologize to the people who listened yesterday, but we have to go back here because I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that yes, this whole thing with this anti-Asian racism was meant not just anti-Asian, they're going to get the bag, but it's really meant to lock Black people out from getting the bag and getting any type of power. Right? Now, I'm going to go back to something I mentioned a while ago, a historical event that happened that is very, very important and relevant to the thing I'm going to reveal to you today that no imam that I know of mentioned on their minbar today, and it's so important. Okay? So you might recall that in one of my videos, I can't remember which one, but I said this before anyways, that I mentioned something about the Colfax massacre in 1873 and the significance it is to Black history in the West and how governments do their dealings with black people. Now, this massacre happened in a mine, right? Where it's estimated between 70 to 160 black men, they died. They were murdered. It was a massacre, right? So this whole thing went to the Supreme Court, right? This Colfax massacre, right? And Justice Samuel Miller, look this up, Justice Samuel Miller upheld a ruling in 1873 that distinguished between national and state citizenship. Why? Why is that important? This ruling was used 2 years later to reverse the perpetrators of the Colfax massacre. Any prosecutions against them was reversed. And the murder prosecutions rest with the states. Are you understanding? The murder prosecutions rest with the states. And that gave Louisiana, Colfax, Louisiana, or Louisiana, the state, right, the power to exonerate the murderers of 160 black people. And to this very day, these white supremacists use Miller's language to shield lawmakers from carrying out racially motivated laws without using racial language. That's why they say urban. Are you understanding? You're getting the plot? From that time, that's how they get away with tricking you with language. And they've been doing it ever since. Why is this Colfax massacre important today, Bilal? Why is it important? Remember, the President of the United States signed executive orders for who? Who did he sign executive orders for? I know there's a delay, but I'm waiting for some of y'all to answer. Who was he signing executive orders for? Who did he sign executive orders for? Answer. Who's listening? Who did this president sign executive orders for? And he mentioned them by name. Talk black to me. Talk black to me. Who was it? Who did he sign executive orders for? Asian community. Thank you, Liam. Liam on YouTube. Asian community. He signed it for the Asian community. And in order to lock out black people, he said urban communities. Just like Justice Samuel Miller in 1873 distinguished between the state and the federal government in order to carry out racially motivated laws without using racial language. It's the same trick that they've been doing for the last 100+ years. Why? Why this emergency? Okay, I get it. I get the history lesson. I get, the Asian community, but why are you so sure that all this anti-Asian racism stuff was used to lock black people out from any gains? How are you so confident, Bilal? And why are you mentioning the imams not even talking about this? And they're talking about other things, right? I want you now. I'm going to play this on YouTube, and I'm going to turn my phone around on Facebook so you guys can see for yourself. Okay, so just give me a second here to set this up. But I want you to watch this. And the title of this lecture, by the way, if on YouTube, is The Resurrection of Jim Crow. It's not Anti-Asian Racism. I forgot to fix the title because I'm using Restream, right? But it's The Resurrection of Jim Crow. And this is the real deal. It's not a euphemism or it's not, it's real Jim Crow. Real Jim Crow. The Resurrection of Jim Crow, okay? I want you to see something. So let's get me my stuff set up here. Share screen. Okay, now watch this. Hold on, let me get some volume here. So volume up. I don't know if you're going to get any volume out of this. But this is Georgia representing Park. She's getting arrested. Right? Let me play this. So I'm not getting sound on my laptop here. So I can give you some context. So I'm going to play this on my other computer here. So you can get some sound. 1 second, guys. Let me stop sharing the screen here. Okay. So I'm going to play this here. Where are we? And also, every single, at least black imam should be talking about this. And I didn't find a single one talking about this. Okay, so y'all listen to this, right? Listen. Okay, so I'm going to read for you. I'm going to set it up here on YouTube so you can see. So let me set this up here. Okay, so it says, Georgia State Representative Park Canna is released from jail after being arrested for, get this, knocking on Governor Brian Kemp's office door during a controversial elections bill signing. What controversial elections bill? Let's play it. Cannon was charged with obstruction of law enforcement and preventing or disrupting a general assembly. You know the controversial elections bill that they were signing in Georgia? I want you to see what's going on here. You can see on YouTube, if you're watching YouTube, you can see that she's getting arrested, correct? She's getting arrested. You know what she did? She knocked on the governor's door. The governor was signing that bill without a single senator in his presence. And the bill is a voter suppression bill. Yeah, a voting suppression, a voter suppression bill. In this bill, it includes clauses that even giving a voter in line water is a criminal offense. Are you hearing me? But Bilal, why is this important? The whole point of this bill is not just voter suppression, but it's meant specifically to prevent Black people from attaining any power. Remember what I said last night? That these white supremacists, they're mad because of George Floyd. They got embarrassed and they were put on the world stage because of George Floyd. They didn't see that happen. They did not see that happen. Are you understanding me? The whole world witnessed the hood and the burning crosses on the front lawn of the White House, on the door with the George Floyd protests. And that's not all that happened. That's not all they witnessed. They witnessed not just Black people, but millions and millions of white people in the streets protesting against white supremacy. And they are literally going back to Jim Crow era laws. This is a Jim Crow era law, and it's no different from any of the other Jim Crow era laws. And the playbook is the same playbook from Justice Samuel Miller in 1873. Exactly the same. They're going right back to post-slavery times. And not a single imam mentioned it. Not one. I don't know if, and I can't say a single, I don't know of anyone, because I was literally looking to see if any of these Black imams are talking about it. And you know what I found? Well, you know, some of these imams, I swear, they're just cartoon characters, man. They're like Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner. You see what I'm saying? Like, straight up, man. Like, what are these cartoon characters doing on the minbar, man? Wallahi, I'm trying to find, are the imams talking about this? Wallahi, one of these Sufi imams was on the minbar on Jummah talking about how the Wahhabis, us, the Salafis, have a trinity. Aqidah Rububiyyah, Aqidah Uluhiyyah, Aqidah Asma wa Sifat. This is what he's talking about, and this is happening now, right now, like right now. And this roadrunner Negro wearing his costume. When I say costume, I mean, you see how these people are, bro? They run up with their thobes and their kofiyas, and that's supposed to be the religious wear. And Black people are literally in the last hour. And he's talking about some trinity with Aqidah Rububiyyah. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you really doing? Some of you Muppets shouldn't be giving any chuppah. I'm telling you, man. This is insane. What country do you live in? Ya Rab. We are talking about some Jim Crow era stuff here. This is not a joke. This is going to spread to other states. Mark my words. I had all this set up on my laptop, but the sound is not going, so I can't play you. But I wanted to show you that, yes, it is going to spread to the other states. Because McConnell said it's going to spread to the other states. And if it spreads to the other states, all your irrelevant civil rights leaders that got put there through white supremacy to begin with are going to be asking you Negroes to march to Washington in order to pacify you. And now's not the time for marching. Now's not the time for protesting. Now's the time for serious action. We don't got no time to, like, legit. We don't have the, like, this is it. This is Wal Asr here. This is Wal Asr. There's no turning back after this. Do you guys understand the significance of this? For the last 60 plus years, Black people have been fighting for the right to vote. And just as quickly as they gave it to you, as quickly as they're taking it away from you, again, they're doing it not just with the laws, but they're giving themselves the right to violently prevent from voting. That was a Black senator that got arrested. A Black senator. How many white senators got arrested for the January 6th insurrection on Washington? How many? Go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait for you all to answer. I'll wait. Brian White, we are out here debating about who's upon the hook, while some oppressive non-Black Muslims and some Caucasians are walking us back to slavery. Shaking my, this is legit. Exactly what's going on. They're walking you right back to slavery, and they're not messing around. They're not messing around. You see, some of you slow Negroes, you think it can't happen. That's what you think. And meanwhile, slavery is happening in the Muslim world. Slavery is happening in China. Okay. Who are the countries that boycotted China? You got Canada. Who else? UK, USA, and European Union. These Western countries, okay, they boycotted or put sanctions or some against China. Okay, you have US, UK, Canada, and EU. Okay, and not one single Muslim country, not one, even batted an eyelash at China. And you have Mohammed bin Salman saying China has a right to defend itself from terrorism. And you're out here thinking that this can't happen to you? After all this stuff that these people did to you, and they're doing it again? Y'all are sleeping, like straight up. Straight up sleeping. It's ridiculous. This is, in my lifetime, I've never seen a crazier law happen than this. In my entire life. This has got to be the single most craziest thing I have seen. Okay? This is right up there with 3 strikes. And it'll probably be worse than 3 strikes. They are illegalizing your, do you understand? They're illegalizing your existence. Do you understand what's happening here? And they hide it behind language. And your imams are on the minbar fighting each other over dogma. Today, they're fighting over each other. Like today. Yeah, these Muppets, they're Muppets. I swear, wallahi, they're Muppets. They are Muppets. Missed it. What's the law? Basically, the details of the law are like this. They will put the voting booths into certain areas. You can't mail in ballots. You can't feed anybody in the lineup. So essentially, what they're doing is modern. It's exactly like Jim Crow. It's exactly like the literacy laws in the late 1800s. The same thing. The same thing. There's no. I really don't see the difference between this and Jim Crow laws. They're preventing black people from voting, literally preventing black people from voting. And you, black folks, talking about Democrats and whatnot, and the Democrats are in on it. Duh. Like, it's so, you guys are so, the Democrats are in. I already showed you that yesterday. I showed it. That's what that whole anti-Asian racism thing was about. To lock you out, to put the attention on some other ethnic groups and make sure you don't get anything. And as I said yesterday, I was going back out on a limb. And guess what? Guess what? I'm standing firm on that limb now. You guys are joking. I swear, man. You guys are joking. Every single last one of your black politicians was put there because white people put there, not because you voted them in. They put them in your face and they said to you, vote for this. We like this guy. You did it, and you thought you got yourself a black leader, and now they're arresting the same black leaders that you thought that you voted for and showing you just how powerless you are. Imagine that. An elected senator who didn't break any laws getting arrested for knocking on a door. They're telling you, they're just telling you straight up. They're telling you straight up. This is a white country. Yeah, it's y'all who didn't get the memo. You're fighting Democrats and Republicans and black people. What do Democrats and Republicans have to do with black people except one's, as Malcolm X said, one's the wolf and one's the fox and you're the sheep. They have different ways of getting you, but they're going to get you and eat you. You guys are tripping, man. I had some other stuff I wanted to play, but like I said, my laptop. But this is a very, very, very serious matter. It will absolutely have international repercussions. It will spread throughout the states. Mark my words. You heard it here first. This will absolutely spread throughout the states. And as long as you and your leadership are out there fighting each other, mashallah, welcome back to the second slavery. Welcome back to the second slavery. Here's what we have to do. And if we don't do it, then our children and our children's children will be looking back at this generation, cursing us for our inaction and our infighting. This enemy that we have is the most powerful enemy in human history. You're understanding me? It's the single most powerful enemy that we've ever seen in human history. Okay? This enemy has put its foot on the neck of every single racial group. And at the bottom of that pile are black people. And it pits every racial group against each other, specifically black people, to make sure that black people are a permanent underclass and we have no friends. And the only friend that matters that we should be even expressing with the lips that friend gave us is Allah. That's the only friend that really matters, because we have two paths to go here. And this is real. This is not a joke. We can bow down to white supremacy, or we can oppose it. If you bow down to white supremacy, you can get the perks from it, no problem. You can sell out your people, get your butter biscuits and whatnot, but you will basically be trading in the life of this world for the hereafter. And that's real. You can really do that. Just like pretty much all these foreigners coming out, that's what they do. They bow down to white supremacy. Or you can resist it. You can resist it. Those who decide to resist it, from there are another two paths. You can resist white supremacy with Allah, or you can resist white supremacy without Allah. We've resisted white supremacy without Allah before. That's been done. That's been done. These people don't know who Allah is. They don't know. They think that they're Allah. They're like Pharaoh. They're exactly like Pharaoh. There's no difference between them and Pharaoh. They are the ones who say, Ana Rabbukum al-A'la, that I am your Lord, the Most High. They believe that. And they're not joking around either. They're dead serious. That's why these people who say that they believe in God, these devils, these white devils, they believe in God. And they can go to any other darker skinned country on the planet, bomb the hell out of it, starve its people, rape its women, and rape the resources from that country, indoctrinate its people to make those same people think that they are better than them, destroy countries in the name of God. Well, if that's their God, then who is their devil that allows them to do all of that stuff? If that's their God, who is their devil? Are you understanding me? And if you believe that you believe in the same God as them, then who is your devil? The only way we're getting out of this situation is with Allah's help. That's it. There is no other way. And if we get out of that situation, if we choose to resist and get out of that situation, they will know who Allah is after that, if we do it for Allah. Because we will never get out of that without Allah's help. And Allah will make his name known. He will make his name known through the destruction of our enemies and success of his worshipers and the oppressed. Just like he's done it before many times. Or we can continue to fight each other and allow the punishment of Allah upon us to continue to punish us because we have not given Allah his due. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying. This is not a joke. I don't know how to explain how serious this thing is. The world will know when these people fall. They will know that no other name can be attached to their fall except Allah's name. And Jew black people will be at the forefront. Either way, it's your decision. You make Allah's name high and raised and elevated, and Allah will give you that success. And it's not lip service anymore. It's not going to the minbar like the cartoon character you are and making war with other Muslims based upon dogma. and leaving the white supremacist alone. This is Wal Asr. Like right now. And we have zero time to waste. And we have a lot of work to do. So I will leave you with that, inshallah. All of this insane racism in the Muslim community, I don't even, like, it's insanity. All of this division, all of this dogma, if that doesn't stop, you're going to be in a serious, serious, serious hell. France right now is openly expressing its hatred towards Islam and verbally expressing they want to run not diplomatic relations with Africa, military. The whole world is ganging up on you, especially if you're Black. And if you think for a split second that you're going to get out of this, all the foolishness we've been doing, you're in for a horrific surprise. Coming to a ghetto near you, Jim Crow, and coming to an African country near you, slavery. Either you's in or you's out. And if you keep giving these Muppets your ear, if you keep giving these costume characters your ear, it's only a matter of time that you're going to go down with these same people. Anyways, go look it up. Go look up what's happening in Georgia, right? I wish I could play everything for you, but I can't. So I'm going to have to ask you to look it up. Like, subscribe, share. Hit me up on Patreon. Share this everywhere you can. Get it to your imams, whatever. They should have been talking about this. They're the ones who should have been talking about this. This affects every single Muslim. It's not a joke. It's very serious. Those imams who say, no, we can't do no Black nationalism, you need to cut them off today. Cut them off today. They're not trying to help you. They're trying to help themselves. No Black nationalism, now donate to the masjid. You don't have a nation. That's why it's so easy for them to bring Jim Crow back in 2021. It's easy for them to do that. You don't got a nation. You never did. Anyways, like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon. I came to you in peace, and I leave you the same way. Subhanaka bihamdik wa shalla ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.